Who was that? When I was in high school, the days before cell phones were common, my friends were to come over to pick me up from my house one night. We had made plans at school for them to pick me up at 7. At 6, my parents said I had to come with them to do something, and I totally forgot to call my friends and tell them. They came to my house at about 7 p.m. and called the house phone. Nobody answered. There were 4 of them in the car. They all told us the exact same story. They said that they were about to pull out of my driveway, but when they saw someone peek through the blinds from the bedroom on the top floor right. That was my room. So they assumed that I was messing around. 5 more times they said that someone would peek through the blinds, and a couple of them said they even saw the person's eyes. We got home at about 7:15, and they were still in our driveway. One of my friends came over and said they thought I was messing with them. Then they asked me, "So who's staying in your room?" I told them no one. So they asked, "Who's home at your house right now?" Again, no one. Their stone-cold faces then told me what they had seen repeatedly over the last 15 minutes. At first, we all thought there was a burglar in the house or something, so we called the cops. The cops came over and inspected the house. There were 0 signs of break-in, nothing was touched, and nothing was stolen. Our house had an alarm on it, so there was no way someone could have come into the house without setting it off. My family, my friends, and the cop all kind of stood around for a few minutes, trying to make sense of the situation. My friends swore up and down, and they still do, that they couldn't have imagined what they saw. All 4 of them saw the same thing. And it wasn't particularly a dark night, so their eyes wouldn't be playing tricks on them. To this day, none of us can make sense of that situation. It wasn't her. When I was around 12, my mother had to go out of town for a bit, and she left me home alone for a few days. We lived close to relatives, so it wasn't a big deal back then. She refused to give me a mobile phone because she figured she could just call me on the landline if anything came up. She told me the date when she'd be back and that was that. The date arrives and I can hear my mom knocking on the door downstairs, calling my name. My dog, who loved her, got excited when he heard her and ran down ahead to greet her. He got to the door, freaked the hell out, and ran back upstairs to me and started growling. I refused to go down and open the door. The phone started ringing and the knocking stopped. I picked up the phone to hear my mom say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I have to stay one more day here. I'll head home tomorrow." Who the hell was at my door? The delivery. The summer after I graduated high school, I got a job delivering pizzas. It was a Friday night around 2:45 a.m. and we were preparing to close when our manager said we got a call for a delivery at a place almost 20 minutes away. Being the desperate kid for money that I was, I offered to take the delivery. This was before smartphones had GPS, so I used a Garmin. I plugged in the address and off I went. The Garmin took me deep into the backwoods of rural Virginia. I finally arrived at my destination. The house looked like something in a horror movie. Big wooden 2-story house, no lights. The first thing I noticed was that the front door was wide open. I sat in my car for a few minutes debating on turning back and claiming no one was home. Something just didn't feel right. But I needed the tip money. So I sucked it up and approached the house. When I got to the open front door, I didn't enter. Instead, I knocked. No one answered. I knocked again as loud as I could. No response. I finally got the courage to say something. "Pizza delivery. Anyone home?" There were a few seconds of silence until I heard a weird voice. "Upstairs." I walked in the house and could barely make out my surroundings because it was so dark. I make it to the bottom of the stairs and look up to the dark abyss. Again, I said, "Pizza delivery?" The voice spoke again. "Come upstairs, I can't get out of bed." Something was very off about this voice. It didn't sound normal. The best I can describe is this may sound crazy, but it sounded like if a dog would learn how to talk but still had trouble pronouncing the human words. The hair stood up on my neck. There was no way I was going up there. The tip wasn't worth it. I placed the pizza at the bottom of the stairs and shouted, "I'm leaving it here, bottom of the stairs. Have a good one." As I turned away, the voice said, "No, come upstairs. I can't get out of bed." I replied, "Sorry, I'm not even allowed to enter someone's home on the job. You'll have to come get it." Then I heard some loud banging from upstairs, with the voice shouting at full volume, "Come upstairs. I can't come out of bed." The voice shouted this over and over, like it was some kind of a recording on a loop. The banging got louder and louder as the voice got louder. I noped the hell out of there at full speed. To this day, I have no idea what happened in that house. They were supposed to pay by cash, so I guess they got the pizza on the house. I never went back, not even during the day. And if it was an old or crippled person, then who left the front door wide open?